Right, this camera will stay focused on my face this time, I promise. Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, Yostian. I hope you lot are all doing well today, my friends. I really do hope that. And yes, welcome back to Chelsea News, your daily series here on Football Therapy, where we talk about Chelsea news. Yeah! So yes, my friends, I really do hope you guys are doing well. Just a couple of stories I want to talk about today, but relatively big topical ones. Frank Lampard has spoken out on his usage of Callum Hudson-Odoi, as well as his intention, because he's looked incredible lately and hasn't been starting games, or at least the Premier League games. Also, when it comes to the probably most blockbuster transfer business this window, it's Fikayo Tomori and a big transfer, potentially to Milan. What they want, a permanent transfer, but apparently there's loads of clubs in for Tomori. Like loads, including a few Premier League clubs. Ooh. Anyway, get comfortable, strap yourselves in, it should be a good one today. Consider dropping a like, show your support, subscribe if you want the daily content here on Football Therapy. And if you do what you do, make sure the bell notifications icon is switched on, as I tell you that Chelsea news is of course brought to you by OneFootball. Yes, you're up, boys and girls. OneFootball is an entirely free experience. It keeps you plugged into the beautiful game of football, giving you updates, whether that's transfer news, general news, stats, lineups, fixtures, results for your club team, your international team, absolutely everything. It keeps you posted, anything you need to know, and like I said, it's entirely free, so you should and can check out OneFootball by clicking the link in the description. You're welcome, brothers and sisters. Alright then, let's get into today's video. First up, it's Callum Hudson-Odoi. Of course, he didn't start yesterday's game, and we all thought that he probably would, although when you start Hakim, Ziyech and Pulisic instead, our other two wingers, it's not so much of a travesty. But a lot of people are asking questions of Frank Lampard and his usage of Callum Hudson-Odoi, who really hasn't put a foot wrong this season. He's growing in confidence and he looks like an exciting, dynamic threat. Before I give you some quotes and context, this is obviously coming off the back of yesterday's win away at Fulham, which in hindsight, the more I reflect on it, is quite a positive 3 points away, because, you know, Liverpool couldn't beat them recently, Tottenham couldn't beat them recently, and considering Chelsea need a step in the right direction, it was a massive 3 points away at Craven Cottage, where they often put in a good performance against Chelsea. So it's good, I feel better about things, provided we keep on winning. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. Callum Hudson-Odoi came off the bench yesterday and looked like a dynamic, exciting threat, a couple of excellent take-ons, carrying the ball into the box, but also some beautiful passes. That one pass where he just, for the first time, cross-field switch of play, blind, and it just lands to, was it Timo Werner or Chilwell, I forget. A beautiful ball, just excellent, I can't get over it. Anyway, he changed the game and Frank Lampard was posed a lot of questions about his usage, or perhaps his lack thereof, usage of Callum Hudson-Odoi, and I'm going to read you a couple of quotes from today's article. Speaking after the match, Lampard admitted that Callum Hudson-Odoi deserved to start against Fulham due to his recent form, and said that he is currently facing a selection headache in his wide areas, with Pulisic and Hakim Ziyech both being fit. Quote, "I felt I had to bring Callum on for his 1v1, Lampard told Sky Sports. Callum deserved to start today. To be fair, it's not easy selections for me on that side of the pitch at the moment." So it's pretty good. He's saying, look man, I've got two excellent wingers, but he did deserve to start. He did nothing wrong, which is true. So I'm pleased he's saying that, because yeah, it's true. It goes on. Lampard also said, "When I have three wingers fit, there's always one who can't start the game. But they must come on and impact the game, because you generally make substitutions with wingers." Yeah, it's true, I suppose. I had Leicester in mind. I'll have to see how the players react over the next day or two. But in this busy period, the players will have to accept sometimes of being an impact and coming on and showing their quality. I've got to say, with Callum, I'm delighted with how he's playing at the minute. He's a great example of someone who's approaching it all the time the right way, and he'll get many minutes. So yeah, it's important and kind of interesting. He's saying, look man, I always make a winger substitution, and often most coaches do. If you look at Premier League games, they always bring on a winger. So with having three starting level wingers, they're all going to pretty much feature every single game, if you look at it that way. And it's the responsibility of the guy who comes on with rested legs later on to change the game against tired legs. Kind of like a different role. other than starting. But it sounds like Frank Lampard's recognised that, but he sees them all equally. Pulisic, obviously we know how good Pulisic is playing for us last season. Ziyech, that wonder of a left boot, that individuality, that creativity that he has. And then obviously Callum Hudson-Odoi, just an amazing dynamic winger. All very different, all very good. So hopefully the idea of some animosity there should die down. And really, if Callum Hudson-Odoi starts against Leicester, and then, you know, it's Pulisic being the impact sub, making a difference, everything kind of works and looks fine. So hopefully, double fingers crossed for that, but that will be a really difficult game. Anyway, let's move on to the next story in today's video. And that is, of course, regarding our English international defender Fikayo Tomori, wanted by AC Milan. The story is, in terms of the loan, they're willing to pay around £900,000 to have Tomori for the end of the season. So that would be a loan fee on top of his wages, you would think. Would you think, or is that just his wages? It depends how much his new contract is. I should have looked at this. Anyway, that's how much they're willing to pay for that. But the thing is, they want to buy him. They've been really, really interested for a while. Their sporting director was also the sporting director of Roma and has been looking at Fikayo Tomori for a long time and would like to bring him over. For the player himself, it's got to be an alluring loan, and by all accounts, Fikayo is pushing for this move. Loan move as things stand, because AC Milan are top of Serie A. They're a massive club, Milan, obviously, historically, but they're in a title race. They're probably favourites to win the league, the Scudetto, for the first time in years. Like, amazing scenes. Why wouldn't you want to go over there, provided you'd get promised you'd get decent minutes? So an amazing loan, but they want to buy him afterwards. They want an option to buy for 30 million. I think Chelsea are reluctant to. Frank Lampard has, of course, come out before and said how he's got big plans for Tomori. You know, Tomori's played for him over 2 different clubs, and he's brought him into the first team fold, and he became an England international under him, and he still has plans for him, but he wants him to go away and play for a little bit. It's peculiar. I'm going to try and give my opinion on the whole situation in just a moment. But apparently, it doesn't stop there. Matt Law on the London is Blue podcast, of course the journalist Matt Law, spoke to the guys, my friends over at London is Blue. I'd urge you to go and check out that podcast. Spoke about this, and he said it's not just Milan, it's also 2 La Liga clubs, you know, undisclosed, but you'd imagine they'd be of relevant sort of stature. I'm not saying it's Madrid or Barcelona, but you know, it's 2 significant La Liga clubs. And also he says recently, but he couldn't disclose who, which is a bit of a bummer. He says an additional Premier League team has just come in for him. Like, we've known Newcastle were interested, we've known Leeds United were interested, but now another Premier League team has come in asking about him, who he's not allowed to disclose, which makes you think, ooh, saucy. Like, is it a Premier League rival trying to get Fikayo Tomori? You know, 5th choice centre half. You think that'd be obtainable for a lot of clubs, even maybe your rivals. Like, well, you're not even using him, mate. He's 5th choice. Come on, we'll give you money. But, you know. Anyway, I'm not saying it's a Premier League rival. I'm just speculating. It's undisclosed information. So, how do I feel about Fikayo Tomori? Well, what I've maintained ever since he was at Derby and came to Chelsea is unparalleled recovery pace. Obviously, another one of these feel-good academy stories like Callum Hudson-Odoi, Gilmore, Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, Reece James. God, there are so many, isn't there? He's one of them, man, and he can defend well, and he can apparently score well if you look at his goal against Wolves, although I'm not sure how many times you'd expect to see that. Good player, obviously a good player, really, really highly rated. La Liga clubs, like I've said. I even failed to mention Ligue 1. There's loads of clubs in France that like and want Fikayo Tomori. So there's that as well, man. He's a really desired player, and if all these clubs around Europe want him, why does Frank Lampard not want him? Like, is he seeing something in training that we don't see? I don't think there'd be an attitude problem, because he's always loved Tomori. He brought him into the fold. It's very, very peculiar, unless it's like a player profile thing, like he's doing something instinctively and naturally in games and in training that doesn't fit a systemic style of play. Maybe the analysis team have seen that and they go, right, we're playing like this, and although Fikayo Tomori is a very good player, he doesn't optimise this style of playing. We'd be much better off playing Rudiger, well not Rudiger, yeah, apparently Rudiger, Zuma, Thiago Silva, and then even on top of that, probably Christensen and Rudiger. I don't know, that's not necessarily the truth, that's me trying to spitball here, speculate, but it's very, very difficult and it's hard to work out. So I'm keen to get your thoughts and opinions on this. because Lampard still spoke glowingly of him, you know, in a press conference. So get down in the comment section and let me know your thoughts, feelings, emotions. I'll be down there reading them. Please do consider dropping a like on this video. Feel free to go check out OneFootball, of course, link in the description. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.